Hey you guys, so this is Yolanda here from My Pretty Brown Doll and My Crochet Life, and in this video I am going to show you how I do the eyes with the white felt for my doll designs. And so you will see how I cut the felt, how I insert the felt, about how I do the placements. I do my eyes a little bit different because my dolls eyes do have to be inserted before the doll's head is closed completely. I do kind of make the head, I stuff the head a bit, and then I get ready to insert the eyes. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that, and hopefully this is helpful for you guys who are using the safety eyes, and to give you just a general idea of how to decide where the eyes are going to go, because once they're in, and it is pretty permanent. So I normally do use 15mm eyes for my designs. These I normally get from Hobby Lobby, or you can also find them on Amazon. They come either solid black or with the little brown edging around them. Occasionally I do use hand painted eyes as well, but I'll be using 15mm eyes. And then I also have some pre-cut felt circles that I also got from Amazon. And so I'm going to show you guys how I use that and how I insert the eye with the white felt onto my doll designs. Okay, so for this, disregard the yarn needle. I was going to do something different in the video. You do not need the yarn needle. You do need the eye backs, the safety eye backs, and also some scissors. And so in order to, make the felt ready for the eye, you are going to fold the felt in half, and then I just take my scissors and I'm going to just cut a small slit somewhat in the center of that folded felt. So I have it folded, and I am just going to cut a small slit, being careful not to cut it all the way across. If you have a hole punch, you can also use a hole punch for this, but scissors work. I'm then going to take my eye and place the stem of my eye right into that slit that I cut. And now what I like to do is I am going to cut this just a little bit. You will notice on this particular eye that the top of the eye, or what I'm considering the top of the eye, is kind of flush with the felt. I do this so that I can identify what the top of the eye is for me. And that way I know where I'm going to be placing my lash. And so when I insert the eye, I do make sure that the part that's kind of flush with the felt is, again, like I said, the top of my eye. So you will see me cut this just a little bit around the top so that it will be flush. Okay, so now that I have them about the same, they're not identical, but they are almost the same. So we can now go ahead and look at where we're going to add this on the doll's head. And so I do like to add this somewhere around between rows 13 and 14, or rows 14 and 15. I do start counting from the top, coming down. I do not count up like from the bottom or from the opening and go up. I do count from the top, and come down. And then, like I said, I like it to be anywhere between rows 13 and 14 or 15 and 16. It just depends on the yarn, my tension when I was crocheting. And we're just going to take the stem of the eye with the top part up. So again, where I cut it to be flush, I want that to be the top of the eye. So we're going to kind of insert that right into the doll's head. And again, we're using the head as a grid. So just inserting it right into a stitch or into a space of a stitch. And again, anywhere between 13 and 14 or 14 and 15. And I kind of, again, just eyeball it and see if it looks how I want it to look. And if it does, then I'll place it there. And then for the next eye, I leave about 5 or 6 stitches in between. Now, this is gonna depend on your aesthetic. If you like for your eyes to be wider apart, put your eyes wider apart. If you like for your eyes to be closer together, put your eyes closer together. As you can see here, that looked a little far apart for me, so I did move it a bit closer together. Now, because there is stuffing in the doll's head, you might have to move the stuffing just a little bit to make sure that the stem of the eye is going all the way through. And you do want to make sure that, again, where you cut it to be flush, that part is like kind of the top of your eye, because again, like I said, I don't want white felt necessarily where I'm going to be adding the lash. And so I kind of move and play with the white felt a little bit to get it the way I want. We do not add the backs yet. We do not add the backs yet. I go ahead and start making the additional rows. I don't add my backs into the next to the last row because, again, once you add those backs, it's done. You cannot take these out. And so I don't add my backs until I'm sure. So when I get next to the last row, I'll come back in and add the backs to my eyes.